I'm Susan from the Millbrook County Public Library. I'm here today to give you an idea of what to do after all the Christmas stuff has been packed away. So it's all getting put away and everything by now. And there's probably a shelf or maybe even a table that looks a little empty after all the decoration we had. So how about making little snowmen? Now these are kid-friendly snowmen, so they're easy if they get dropped or knocked around. Here's a couple that I've made, and I'm going to give you some ideas. You could do them out of the socks with the rice is what I did. Now I've got a couple of different size socks you can use. The kid socks tend to work a little bit better than adult socks, but if they're too short, it's a little bit harder to do. So you can sort of figure out what you might have at home. The white socks are really good for this to make them into the snowman. I've got some rice over here. You'll also need some accessories, like you might want to use sequins, or you might want to use eyes, or you could use buttons for eyes. You can use ribbons for scarves. You can use markers. You can use anything that kind of craft things you have at home. I even have some old socks that just don't work. They're just a little bit too small. So we've tried cutting the top of that. And when you get ready to display, I'll show you something else we can display with. So if we take a sock and we roll it down, you don't want to roll it too far. You want to make sure you have plenty of room for the rice to go in, but enough that you don't have too much on the top. So you take it, roll down, and stretch it just a little bit. Now I have a bathroom cup that I'm using with my rice. With the ones that I've made, I've done about 2 cups in the bottom of the sock to give it a good base for the bottom. Now this is sometimes a little tricky, so you might need help. It's a little bit easier 2 hands, 2 people doing it instead of just 2 hands. Now, let's put the second cup in. Make sure you sort of shake your sock down really good. Now you can sort of judge how big you want your snowman. You can have a snowman family, so you might want to have bigger snowmen and smaller snowmen. This is somewhere about the size of this one right here. So I'm going to add just a little bit more just so we have a different size of them. I'll add another half of a cup. So this is going to be 2½ cups in the bottom for the base. And I just about slung the rice. Did you notice that? Alright, so I think that's enough rice for the bottom. Now what you'll do is you'll just sort of push it down a little bit, sort of form a ball, give you a nice base for the bottom. And you could get a rubber band and twist it around a couple times. Just sort of keep it close to the base and make it nice and tight. And then that way, maybe your snowman will sit really nice and firm and pretty. Just gonna push that down a little bit. Alright. So now we still have more rice to go because right now we just have the bottom base. So let's get our rice back over here. Get another cup. This is where it's really easier if you have 2 people doing it, because the taller you go, the more the sock wants to sort of sag over. Now what do you think? Maybe that would be, how about we put just a little bit more? Just because we put extra in the bottom. Make it a little bit more proportion. There we go. That should be good. So now we sort of do the same thing. We sort of push it down, form it where it's round, and then get another rubber band. Now I found some white rubber bands. I'm going to go ahead and just use the regular rubber bands, but you can use whatever you have at home, different colors. Doesn't matter because we can cover them up with ribbon, or we could cover them up with other things. That one actually just broke, so let's get another one. That might happen too. So twist it around a few times to hold it in place. And once we get the rubber bands in place, then you get to start being creative. You get to decide how do you want your snowman to look. Because all we've done so far is just made a snowman. Just like if you were outside in the snow and you rolled a couple of balls together, you've got your body and you've got your head. Now, how do we want to do the top? We can just roll this down a little bit and create a little toboggan for it. So it'd be like that. That's really easy to do that. And then we could even put a little glue in the top, sort of close that up so that there's that. Now on this one, this is the first one I made, I cut the top of the sock off and then I sort of glued it upside down on there to make it, and I put a ribbon to give it a little top to it there. This one here is where I took the sock and cut the toe out of it. Sort of gave him a little hat because it was black on top. Give him a little hat, decorated a little hat. I think on this one, we'll just do it this way. And we'll just, what we can do is we can take some glue. Now the glue, you can use different kinds of glue. There's not a wrong kind of glue. If you, get some of that sticky stuff. If you use a glue gun, make sure you have adult supervision, that they help you with that. Glue guns dry a lot quicker. If you use the craft glue, it dries a little bit quicker than regular Elmer's glue. But when you're doing the gluing, be sure you let it dry really well before you start moving it around, because then if you do, it'll start coming apart, and you don't want our snowman to come apart. Once they dry really good, they should hold really well. Put a little bit of glue in here, and we'll just sort of tighten it up at the top. There we go. And just sort of push it in there. And then that'll look like a toboggan at the top. Now, this is where you get to get very crafty, because you can choose, do you want to use buttons for eyes? Would you like to use sequins? Do you have oogly eyes? Do you want to just use a marker? There's lots of different ways that we can do these. Now I know that you have all kinds of supplies at home, maybe things you don't even think about. So whatever is handy is what you can use. You can make them ribbon scarves. You might have some material that would be plaid. You might want to make it into a plaid snowman. You can have your family, if you do several, you can decorate them any way you want. Like I said, we've got ribbons, and markers will work. I did it on this one. I made his little nose and a mouth. On this one I used felt. You can use felt pieces and cut. Whatever you have at home, you can try to use. Now, if you wanted to decorate a table or a shelf, I brought some batting, so you can sort of arrange it around it. You can put them inside there. Whoop. Get them to sit up really firm. This one, I'll let you imagine yourself what you can do with it when you make your own. Use whatever craft items you have at home. It doesn't have to be anything I have here. It could be just about anything you have laying around the house. Now, so when you get done, you can put it on a shelf or on a table and decorate it where it doesn't look as plain. Now, I brought along one of my favorite snow books. I just wanted to introduce you to Snow Dude. It's a magical book. A snowman not only is wearing pants, which amazed me, but he comes to life. And he has such an adventure. It's so much fun. This book is by Daniel Kirk. So come by the library, check it out. It's an awesome book to read, to share with your family. And I hope you have fun creating your snowman family. Thank you for watching. Bye.